Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to episode 3, almost at 2, of our Can Moms Are Good Moms 2 Saturday Wake and Bake Lives, where we are coming in with raw, real stories that we're about to get super loud with because, man, I did that first episode and then it rolled into the second episode, and by the time the second episode ended, everybody was like, when's episode 3? Because we're just hitting real, raw, hot topics that nobody is thinking about. Nobody is actually taking the time. They're so money driven and so money focused that a lot of the little stuff that needs to be done first is being lost. Miss Jillian, I saw you come in. There you are.
By the way, Miss Jillian here has been like a blessing in all of this. She has been super helpful and like making sure I don't give up. Let me let you guys know, Miss Jillian down here is not letting this live die.
Coming in with the sage this morning.
Yeah.
Coming in with the sage, and we blocking all negative energy because watch,
Yep.
you see this wake and bake? We gonna make a presence. We gonna make our voices heard. They gonna recognize and respect who we are. What's up? What's
That's
up,
right.
Amanda?
How are you, girl?
Coming in with the stage for them this morning.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go.
I did that this morning when I went outside. Before I get on these things, I go outside by myself with no electronics. Just
Me too.
I go out there and toke a little bit. I get my sage out and I'm like,
And it's raining this morning in California. So, I got up, I went outside, I went to the car, I hit the wake and bake. I'm baking, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's
yes. Isn't there something special about smoking in the rain? I can't explain it, but there's something about smoking in the rain. Yes.
It's spiritual about it because you're there, you're smoking, you're hearing the raindrops, and you're like, yeah, thank you to the universe.
Yes.
Thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for looking out for me. You know what I mean? My sister, Wake and Bake, what's up? I'm from Cali. We finna get it.
Yes. Miss Georgia. By the way, hello everybody that has come in and said hello. I do see you. Hi. I'm glad that you guys are all in here. So I don't know if you guys missed last week, but last week we did social equality, banking, green zone, and then we ended up hitting a law that goes right into social equality. Like it lined up, like it couldn't have been like, oh, you mean this law? This one? We're like, yeah, that one. Like that's what we're looking for, right? So it was so hot that like during the live and right after the live, we were getting messages like episode 3. Like, I got something, hey, wait, like people just like on top of it. So we decided to continue it because there's just a lot that is going on. Like I was just telling Jillian this morning, I don't know if everybody has heard, but the word on the street now is that CBD is helping with COVID. This is my take on it. So all of these testing that they're doing and all of these reports that they're showing that helps with COVID is stuff we already knew that CBD did. We already knew that it had all these. Well, if you actually studied CBD and actually educated yourself on CBD, let me take that back, then you would know all of this stuff that they're now all of a sudden going, oh yeah, it does this. Oh, it helps with nausea. It helps you sleep. It helps with your anxiety. It helps your intestines and your immune system. We already knew that. We already knew all of that. But now that enough of us are speaking up about it, it's gone mainstream. It's on the news. People are doing articles on it and pushing this out. You know what that's going to end up doing? Everybody that's in with the pure CBD, the good stuff that actually work, we're going to end up getting pushed out because our products are a little bit more expensive than your gas station, than your health store, because we actually have good CBD, like stuff that you use and you take and it works. But now that it's out on the street and now everybody knows that CBD is doing these things, like more people are educated on it, all of these companies that has these nasty CBDs that are not pure, that don't have the real good stuff in it that actually helps you, are now going to jump on market so hard and scream so loud with their cheap, bad products that we're going to end up with too much diluted bad CBD out there on the floor. And that's just what's going to happen.
And it's going to hurt our credibility. What about credible companies
Yes.
like what we have, right?
Yes.
That we are making sure that we're buying the CBD, the products from credible sources that you can scan and look at the test results. It's shameful. It's shameful. I mean, if you walk into a Walgreens, you walk into a CVS, you buying a product, honey, that product is not made with love.
No. And diluted. There are CBD. I don't know if you guys know this. There are CBD products out there with oil in it, cooking oil.
No,
because you can take that cooking oil, because if you dilute it enough, it has the same consistency as an oil would be for a dropper. So they dilute it enough and throw a little bit of CBD in there so it tests and says, oh, it has it in it. But you can't find testing on anything else. And when you finally do, there is so much garbage in that CBD. It's actually hurting your body on the insides more than it's helping it. You're actually destroying your bodies on the inside, putting all that nasty crap in it.
What do you think is the solution to this?
I think there just needs to be more studying. I think we need more people with accurate results and more studies and more testing and pieces of paper that say, I went to this lab and I did this and this and this, and this is how we need to do it. Credibility, absolutely. It's such CBD is such the wild, wild west right now. You can grow hemp. Hemp is legal for you to grow in your backyard because it's legal. So if you wanted to make your own product, you can. Now, people are using that, for disadvantages as well. And I honestly do believe that it needs credibility. Like you need some kind of regulations on it. There is no regulations on CBD besides how much THC. That's it.
That's an issue.
That's the issue. Because that's the only thing they really care about. Is it legal enough to be on market? If it's not legal enough, then, it's all on our side. Yeah. But then if it is legal enough, as long as it's legal enough, they don't give a crap. What else is in it?
Come back to you talking about, are we ready to be federal? I think I want to just, I'm coming back at you like, does this come back to your original series, right?
It does. It all ties in.
It would be because our patients are not getting products that they can validate. They just being pushed on the market like it's a bag of sugar.
Georgia, you're in here. What would happen with your husband if you guys didn't get the pure good CBD, THC products that you guys have for his cancer? Imagine if garbage is what was being sent to these cancer patients. I mean, I'm not saying it's the same as being on chemo, but it's pretty close because you're putting poison in your body.
Well, I mean, talk about epilepsy as well. They give children a certain amount for epilepsy, right? Yep. And that's important. Like this can stem a long way, down to my mom who just had knee replacement. And guess what? Wow. Guess what's helping her? The CBD that I'm making, bomb that I'm making is, she's like, when she runs out, she's like, I need more CBD. Opposite the pill, right? She's like, no, give me the CBD. I'd rather have that. I don't want the pill. I feel like nonsense. You know what I mean? Taking the pill. So talk about that too,
Rocky made a valid point. Educating bud tender certification, that would be amazing. Like if they went and started selling that stuff, like some kind of here in Washington, to be a bud tender, I don't know if you have to, but a lot of places here in Washington make you go online and take a course. And it's what I went and took it just because I wanted the education to have it. And I went and took it, and it literally didn't even take me a whole day. It took me maybe like 2 hours to actually watch like all of the videos and take the test, and I passed. Because I took the time. But Rocky's got a valid point.
I agree. I totally, Rocky, you need to get in here. Definitely, because it's a lot we need to speak on when it comes to education. And people need to understand something, that you can want to start a business, but if you don't educate yourself, people will come in as vultures and use you and take
Yep.
everything you got. You have to be able to understand the fundamentals
Sorry.
of cannabis, the fundamentals of dosage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can't make THC in your house. You need to know, you know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
need to know these things. This is very important.
But then now that can bring us back around to the green zone. Back to with the green zone. So we need all of this pure stuff, but getting into the green zone or finding a green zone's hell.
Yeah.
It's just straight, almost in some places it's impossible.
There is nothing out here in the city of Long Beach. I want to be blunt. What happened is, and I said it before, all the tall people, whether you're white, black, Mexican, and I like to say jalapenos, I don't care. I don't care where you're from. You have money, you bought up all the properties, right?
Yep.
And now you're selling these properties for $2, $3, $5 million. The property is not even worth 500,000. If 350, we're lucky, right? But you don't have it licensed. You're lying. You're not selling a license. You're selling an application.
Yep.
They put in an application to the city, and that's what they're selling you. Oh, well, come buy this property. It's $5 million. You still have to get it licensed. And guess what? It's a setup, because if they already put in an application with the city, where do you belong? You coming in and putting an application, here's what the city is saying. Well, they have to resend the application before you're eligible to put an application for that building. So it's a setup all the way around. You know what I mean? What I encourage people to do, just like Brooke said last week, if these people sitting in Congress or sitting in your local constituents ain't doing ish,
Hey.
hey, love. Thank you.
Yeah, as soon as Rocky
Everything
commented in our group, I was like,
yeah, bring
come
her
on,
in.
Rocky.
Bring her in.
Come on.
That's my girl. I love her. Listen,
Thank
if
you,
you
folks.
do not get down there and sit for the 3.5 hours to talk 3 minutes to your local mayor and councilman, you ain't doing shit.
That's right. 100%. You have to get on phones. You have to do the work. It's sad because there's no other retail industry that requires you to have to do these things because of the regulations. And honestly, it's like, for me, it's the Wild West.
Right.
Because the regulations change consistently. The minute you get on board with something and you're running in the right direction, a regulation is going to put you right out.
Right.
And, bud tenders are not set up to educate people. They're set up to win bikes and win big prizes from different brands, even if they don't back the brand, right? So
That's interesting.
Yeah, even if they don't agree on the prices of certain items, they're going to push it, right? So even if they don't agree how the extraction process is or whatever, if you're dangling something to a bud tender who's making very little money, right? And you're like, hey, I'm going to give you a bike, or I'm going to get you a TV.
Throw you a bone.
A bone of some sort, then they're going to sell whatever that product is, even if the extraction process makes no sense, even if, we know better as bud tenders for the most part. But the other day I went into a dispensary and one of the bud tenders asked me if I dabbed RSO. And I was like, no. And I don't think that that's a thing to do at all because of the extraction process. And when you burn that, it becomes a very terrible chemical. I was like, it's not something that you want to do. But then that scared me for the future of cannabis.
That's why we need you. That's why we need you. That's why we need you, Cannabis Rocky. That's why we need you, man. That's why we need us to speak up. Because seriously, there's going to be a company that's valid coming on the market that won't make it because of this negativity that's coming. You remember the issue with the vape and everybody was like, oh, don't vape, don't do this.
Yeah,
I'm doing
no doubt.
manufacturing, and
Yeah.
I'm not doing any hard pull, any solvents. I'm doing it naturally,
Yeah.
and that's the only way I'm going.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you have to think about, as a company, do you want to wake up one morning knowing that your brand disturbed or killed somebody in a family? Not I, said the cat. So hell
Right.
no. You know
Right.
what I mean? We have to do things and be reputable in what we're doing and what we're giving. And for the love of God, people, we have to stand up and speak up. Don't depend on anybody else. Come in the
Yep.
chat, request to join. We want to hear what you got to say.
We do. Come on up.
Yeah,
Come on
for
in.
sure. Yes.
But Rocky, I totally agree with your like them being educated, because it is so cheap and online. Like they don't even have to go anywhere. Just to log on. And like I said, it took me like 2 hours and boom, I was certified. Like I could go down to my local dispensary and I could apply for a bud tender because I got a certification.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the things that makes my husband and I go back to our same dispensary over and over and over again. When we go in there and we have now we have our strain that our company that we like, and we pretty much like all of their strains. But anyways, if we go in there and we have a question about something, like I get their infused sugar and I have some questions about it on something, they're very knowledgeable. Like it doesn't seem like they skip a beat when I ask them a question about something. They're like, oh, you're looking for that? Like, are you watching them with other people? They're like, okay, well, what kind of area of ish are you looking for? And they're like, oh, you mean this? Oh, you mean this? And they're like, you know what I mean? Like, and so that makes me feel comfortable going to that. And then I've been to other dispensaries, like if I'm not around home and you go in and I'm like, hey, I don't really know what you guys have. I'm looking for, this, I need good indica, like a good solid, content in it, but I need terpene, I go in with like the knowledge of what I need. And they're like,
They're blank. A blank.
this,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
They're blank. You know what?
I don't know. Is that it?
Rocky.
I don't know.
Rocky,
Yes.
you know what?
The focus changed.
You know what, Rocky? It's so important for us. Look, this is bigger than we can ever think. It's so important to build a classroom. You know what I mean? To where we educate. And we can do that building our own platform and saying, look, come to us. We're educating ourselves, right?
Jaybird.
Welcome.
Yes, blow that smoke over here, sir. Blow that smoke over.
By the way, I want to make a little side announcement. So I know that the name of my nonprofit is Canna Moms or Good Moms Too, but I want you guys to know that's just because that's my focus, like that's my goal. But I want everybody. I don't care if you're an auntie. I don't care if you're a dogma. I don't care if you're a dude. You support us. Come on in. Let me hear from you.
You know what? And we need that.
Because we do. Because
it.
believe it or not, you coming in is kind of an empowerment, just a little bit, because you are a male that's coming in and speaking with us females, saying that you're on our side. Like we can ally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I support Rocky till I die, so I had to go see
us
what's going on.
Us too.
Oh, she's awesome.
Rocky's my girl, so.
So what do you think about social equality in the green zone and like all this banking and stuff that you guys have to go through?
I just hopped in just briefly, so I haven't been in very, very long. So I just I kind of missed out on a lot. I just heard you guys talking about just knowledgeable bud tenders and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's kind of where I wanted to step in. I feel I don't know. I'm just my name's Jaybird, everybody. For everybody that doesn't know me, back-to-back cannabis activist of the year. We have top grower of the year 2021 with Cross Country Wellness. Let's go. I am a bud tender at Top Notch. I handle sales for Canaline. I handle sales for Kushco. And like I said, I'm a bud tender at Top Notch. Just, guys, love to be here. I love the industry that we're in. I love the knowledge that everybody's providing. I started my cross-country wellness business because I lost my dad to an accidental overdose of pain pills back in 2015. He had 17 broken ribs, a fractured shoulder, and a punctured lung. And he was in a car accident. And 6 months later, he passed away from an accidental overdose. So that is my purpose. That is my why. That is why I try to educate people on the benefits of plant medicine over opiates. So that is just my why, and that's why I'm here. You know, that's why
A
I have
little
a
sage
really,
for
I
all
have
the
a,
souls that passed and still with us. A little sage.
Mm-hmm.
My
yeah,
son is here as well. So a
thank
little
you.
sage for the love of the
We
angels.
appreciate that.
Yes,
But,
sir.
but you
Yeah.
know, I don't think people know that like I abuse cannabis. Don't get me wrong. I love cannabis. It's 9:20 and here I am taking fat ass dabs. You know what I mean? So,
I
but
mean,
but the cool thing is, you know, guys, like people underestimate the power of CBD. You know,
Yeah.
so guess what?
Talk
I
about it.
I take CBD. Guess what? I take CBD for reasons why people wouldn't even believe it. So guess what? I get off work at midnight, but I have to get up at like 6 and 7 in the morning because I'm, by the way, Rocky, my last day as a bud tender is December 8th. I'm
Congratulations,
quitting.
my friend.
Yes, I am going out
Congratulations
on.
on your CBD line. And that's somebody who had the knowledge and the wherewithal to try to help people.
hey,
Let's go. Let's
So
go. Let's
yeah,
go. Let's go.
product should never be inexpensive because of how good extraction
yes,
processes, great oils, things that we know are going to benefit people. You know, utilizing hemp oils and grapeseed oils and really great oils to make tinctures and things of that nature. And that's what I think this industry needed was more people like Jaybird, who was like super passionate about cannabis, to be like, and have the wherewithal to be like, CBD is the, like, for me, and this is my opinion,
mm-hmm.
CBD will surpass THC.
It will.
And when
It
people
will.
realize, when people start coming to realize the benefits and the holistic properties, that can help almost a gazillion ailments. So, you know what I mean?
Yes.
If you do the right thing, and good things aren't cheap, right? Good things aren't
Yes.
cheap.
Mm-hmm.
If you
I
want to
wish.
run a long time, you're a big runner, you're gonna buy a $200-300 pair of gym shoes because you want to protect
Yeah,
yourself, right?
correct.
It's the way it goes for retail. Why wouldn't it be the same for CBD? That makes
Yeah.
no sense to me.
Yep.
I'm
So
telling you, I was just telling Amanda that my mom just had knee replacement, and all she keep asking me for is that, can you make me more CBD balm? Because even the pills are not helping her. She's like, no, just give me the
Yeah,
balm to help me. You know what I mean? So
yep.
yeah, we're taking off. What we
There,
have to do is stop the negative energy from coming in and
yep.
filter positive and
See,
request that everybody be upfront with what you have. You need to show me a paper showing me that you're
test
tested.
result. Yeah,
Test your
the
product.
testing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This is the masses you're delivering to. So deliver the right way. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Your passion is what makes you rich. If you come in here for the money and you selling trash, you will get money, but I'm telling you, it will last for a short time, and I'll
Yep.
see your ass in court.
Right. I mean, if you
So
yeah, go ahead.
in my group, that's actually what I do. Is I do THC and CBD, and lately, if you go over there and look, I've been hounding on CBD like a little bit louder. Like people will come in and they're like, "My kid has this," or "I have this," and I'm like, I have a couple of comments that say, I understand that I'm a THC advocate, but what people need to understand is CBD and THC are supposed to be together. People
Yes.
keep
Yes.
separating them
Yeah.
and like, oh,
It's
I'll
from
learn
one
about
plant
CBD,
food.
or oh, I'll learn about THC. No, both. Learn both. Learn, but like, so I'll have people side message me and they're like, "Have you ever heard of this company?" And I'm like, no, I personally haven't. And they're like, "Well, I'm worried about it." And I'm like, "Well, then do this: go to Google, type in the company name, and then type in lab results. If you cannot find lab results, or those lab results only have like a little bit in it and it's like starting to repeat the same thing that's in it, red flag.
Yeah.
Yep.
You need test results.
Yep.
hey, y'all want to
It's
see
so
what a bud
important.
tender bag looks like when we get
Yes,
samples?
please.
Yes.
All right,
Let's see.
so let's see. We got a one 1-to-1 CBD dark chocolate caramel vegan bar by Bang.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's
Bye bang.
vegan.
Yep.
I'm vegetarian. So I'm like,
I'm hella sure most of your products are vegan, honey.
That
You're gonna love it. I need to send you a
that
package
dab
too.
has left a tickle in my throat, so I apologize. Shit.
CBD is wonderful. I've been teaching on it a lot.
Got some sour belts.
Okay. Okay.
Got
You're right.
a
Graphic design. That's exactly what it is.
Star Bar
Yeah.
mint chocolate.
Yes.
Yum.
Okay.
Peanut butter cookies. By
Ooh.
What's the location? We on the way. What's the location?
Heather from Mary Jane's People, are you still in here? You wanted to come up too. Go ahead. Sorry. She also had something to say.
Vegan chocolate by OMG.
There's more.
There's a lot of like packaging situations going on that are like, I mean, these companies are really good and reputable. I like Select, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Select is good.
This is a lemon OG haze, 500 milliliter.
I've heard good stuff about Select.
Yeah.
But that's another thing when you talk about packaging as well.
Yes.
A mini motivator. This is Jenny Kush.
Right.
Jenny Kush.
That look good.
A gram of candy cane.
Okay.
What's this, Select? Sorry, that was my competitor.
So you have cross-country wellness, right? And Jaybird, why is it like important to get quality products when you're making CBD product?
Yes.
To have quality?
Yeah.
Why is it important for you to, have that? The price point is never going to please everybody, but you have to be able to make some sort of profit in order to stay in business, right?
Especially when you're giving out quality. Especially when you're giving out quality and reputable products. I want to know if I buy a product from you that it's safe. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you can go see my COAs on my website right now. So
yeah,
you can go look at my COA and see, and that's one thing that's very important is to see that, a lot of these CBD companies right now, even though they do have COAs, their product isn't just it's all in the product, you know what I mean? And once you get people to try your product and they come back and specifically ask for your product without you begging them to, that you're on to something, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like the Coke effect. You just, you go have a Coke, a sip of a Coke, and then all of a sudden you're buying 12 packs of them. You know what I mean? It's just kind of that. It's a product that sells itself. It's a McDonald's product. Guess what? I hate McDonald's, but guess what you'll catch me doing? The convenience of going to McDonald's and buying a damn cheeseburger. It's convenient and it's consistent every time. Guess what? I've never not had a non-consistent spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
quality
that's what I pride myself in, even with my product, is the quality and the consistency. You want to know that if you're going to use this product and you're going to take 75 milligrams, that 75 milligrams is going to work for you. You're not having to guess, so the formulation is important. I did turn down other people because they said that they could give me my product cheaper. I can get you your product half price. And I said, I don't care. I would rather pay for it because I would rather pay for quality every time.
Yeah, I agree.
Shout out to owners of Nature's Chemistry in here, baby. Andy, what's happening?
Thank you for joining us.
Weed in Vegas. Nature's Chemistry, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Jaybird, if I could get you to slide out, I got somebody else that wants to come on in so they can say some speech too.
Thank you.
Appreciate you so much, though. I really do appreciate your side of it. All right, who's coming on in next? There she is. It's Miss Heather. She does HR for cannabis.
Oh, nice.
Which is
nice. Bring her in.
Yes.
She's fine.
Yes.
Oh
See,
my God.
I told you.
Yay.
Yeah, that's what Heather and I were talking on.
I love
right?
Yes.
I'm pulling in everybody. I'm like, nope, you got a story. You got a story. You got a story. Come on.
I'm so excited.
We want to hear.
Heather, I have to say that what Heather is doing is pretty special. So when you own a business, you have HR, right? Like something goes wrong in the workplace, you got somebody you can call. There's a lot of us that are in this industry We are HR. We are our
Yeah.
HR. We do our stuff. Well, Miss Heather down here at Mary Jane's People saw that and was like, wait a minute, the cannabis industry needs HR too. Like, we need somebody. But some of the stuff that she's had to deal with, of course, she's HR. Can you imagine HR out of cannabis? Now add cannabis into HR. Okay. She's taken on a task. But her and I were talking the other day, and some of the stuff that she's been through and has had to go through now to do this, it's discriminating. It's not okay, especially because she's, like I said, being HR in cannabis is big because we don't have that. We don't have somebody that can help us like that. It's us figuring it out. And then, so they just push back extra hard on her, and it's kind of lame. So I wanted her to come talk out about it. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. This is exciting for me. So this is my first live like ever. So
welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. So I really love HR, first of all, and I've been doing it for a really, really long time. And I'm not like your normal HR. I'll just say that. Like, people normally like me, you know, and normally actually want to come to me, and like, I'm normally a positive thing, which rubs the business the wrong way, really. You know, I've been doing HR since '97, so a little bit, about 25 years now, and have been running and building departments for different kinds of companies for about that long. And there are a lot of roadblocks because you have to learn how to build bridges with all sorts of people that you wouldn't normally be building bridges with, right? And you have to be able to speak in a way for people to actually hear you, and not lose your confidence, right? When you know what your mission is the right thing, you know, and you know what you're speaking is the right thing, and ignoring the gaslighting that's going to happen, right? You know, I mean, I left a little bit, well, I left a lot of that just recently. And so, you know, I don't think it matters what industry you're in, you know? And so for me, it's being able to hopefully lend a voice. But I think there's a huge opportunity to do work differently in this industry. And I know it's flawed. I know I'm Pollyanna coming in, and I know that, and I'm, you know, I know that. But I think we have the opportunity to do really amazing things here because people are tired of the way work has been. They're sick of it. They're sick of it, right? And we can do something different, I think, you know. So hopefully, absolutely. Hopefully, you know, my goal is just to be able to come in, work with as many small companies as I can, you know, women owned, right?
Yes.
BIPOC, right? Black, Indigenous, people of color, like that is my primary focus. Also, let me say this. Y'all, I'm in Texas, where it's like CBD, medicinal CBD is legal and that's it, right? Like yesterday, a company filed a TRO against the Department of Health because Department of Health is like, Delta 8's illegal, and all the companies are like, no, it's not, you know. And we have our first hemp harvest today, festival. It's like craziness in Texas.
Wow, yeah.
But I'm so excited to be kind of, you know, being able to work with legal or decriminalized states, right? And learning from that, right? To advocate here in Texas, which Amanda, just to kind of circle back and hand off to her, it's that advocacy and education.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to have to buddy up with our ad commissioner, which is going to be rough, but I need to because he's the guy I got to make friends with. Hello. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually today, he's going to be speaking tonight. So I could get to see him speak and then hang out with him hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
So here, and I'll try to contribute where I can. So thanks, guys.
Awesome. Miss Jillian, I want to hear what the rest of you have to say from last week. I know you on fire and I want to hear it. She's been waiting so patiently for everybody else to talk first. So look at her, she's waiting. So first off, I sat and listened this morning.
I'm gonna light my sage one more time because I gotta pray. I gotta pray. These. Yeah.
When she was talking about going and sitting for hours to talk to commissioners, I sat and she sent me her link this morning and I got to listen to it. She waited there all of that time for her to essentially go up to this little podium and be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like she had to get it out. So like everybody, I listened to a couple of the people before her too, because I was just kind of intrigued. Like I like research. I'm a nerd.
Yes,
I'm a
of
nerd.
course.
I'll admit it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hear what the other people, were having to say too. Because I was like, what else is going on in the world? Because believe it or not, if we also educate ourselves outside of the cannabis industry too, it kind of helps us on the inside as well. You know what I mean? Because you got to know what's going on the big world on the outside if you want cannabis to actually succeed on the inside. Like, because there's just so much to it. Anyways, she stood there for hours. She sat there for hours on these, I kid you not, wooden podiums. Like that was their seating. Like it wasn't even something comfortable. Like they didn't have the cool, like comfy chairs that you see in like a conference room. These are like, think church, like pews, like those hardwood pews from, back in a long time ago. Anyways, I grew up sitting on those pews and I know they hurt your ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know for
3
facts
hours.
they hurt.
Me too.
3 hours, 3.5 hours.
So and for her to get up there and for her to speak real fast, and then they dismissed her like she was nothing. Like didn't just thank you.
That's crazy.
Go ahead, Miss Dillian.
Sitting there for those 3 hours, I'm looking at the councilman, the mayor going to the back in the chambers and getting snacks. And I'm like, what the fuck? I should have bought snacks in here. I got to pee. I'm sitting here waiting for my turn because I don't want to miss my turn. So I'm sitting here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, people, we have to get our voices heard as women. I've been, since the inception of social equity, been an applicant, approved. Okay, I'm going into this. And, they're opening 8 dispensaries for social equity, especially for social equity. Now they're saying, oh, but we're going to run a lottery. What about wait, we've been sitting here.
Yeah.
You're going to run a lottery and people that don't even come down here.
Yeah.
Sitting there for 3 hours, there's only 5 social equity people that were there to speak. There's 92 people that's been approved. You telling me you're going to bring an outside, right, entity to come and do a lottery to pick who gets what? You setting us up for failure off the top.
Yes. Yes.
Here's the thing.
Your confidence has to be just so shot.
Yeah. You insulting us, right? By saying, oh, well, we're going to create programs for you for technical support and this support. What the city is doing, and I'll say it again, they're using the grant money that's supposed to be disseminated to social equity to get in business to create frivolous program, or because you're black and you're dumb and y'all don't know how to get into business. So let me help you. Let me tell you something. Most of these hustlers that's here in social equity, they've been getting in on the streets. They've been in business. They've been
Heather,
paying their
can
rent.
you slide
They've
out
been
real
buying
quick?
cars with no
I
license.
want graphics design media to come in. He has something to talk to discuss with you on the lottery. He's on your side with the lottery. I want to hear you two discuss. Yeah, because he said lotteries are racist and he can tell you why.
It is. Bring him in.
Yeah, as soon as Miss Heather slides out, yeah. See, this is why I do these. Like, we usually start out kind of slow, but let me tell you what, it starts getting good. And you're like, oh, come on. What?
Yeah.
All right.
Bring him in.
I'm bringing him. Because it is. It totally is.
It's racist. It's like we're sitting here all this time and you're telling me I've been in this all this time. Now I got to wait for somebody to dictate my...
Oh, hi.
Come on in.
He's like, whoo. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
All right, these lotteries. What's up with them?
I mean, inherently, a lottery is really, because I don't like to bring race into an issue, but it's specifically a racist issue because it's white privilege to even own a lottery and then give that to a minority. It's literally making the carrot in front of somebody with knowing that the carrot's never going to be given to that person.
So right.
It's true.
This is real right here.
I've been
sir.
of skin, but I grew up in Pomona, California in the 80s, so I know racial inequality as a minority in that inequality, you know what I mean? So I may have been a white person, but I grew up in a black neighborhood in a time period of racial injustice. So I've seen firsthand and felt firsthand, even being a white person. So it's something that, like, when people go, oh yeah, this and that, and I'm like, no, unless you've ever actually been in that foot, you'd have no fucking clue.
You have no
Thank you.
fucking clue. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
And people know me. Most of my friends are darker than me just because of like, I noticed this recently. I've had a lot of friends who are from the Middle East that have come here, or they're just their one generation. Their parents have come here, and I have a lot of friends like that. And I was like, you know why? Because we have that same feeling, that we've gone through that same. I can't see anyone else either. Hold on, if I lose you guys.
No, he was good.
He was so
Yeah,
good.
He couldn't see us. He just
Thank
dropped out. He'll jump back
goodness.
in.
Like,
He was good. But you know what? This is why you have to do this. This is why wake and bake is important. Yeah, it may take a little bit of your time in the morning, but the knowledge you get
oh
coming
my
out of here,
God.
it's fire, baby.
But you feel
It's fire.
validated because you could share
Right?
that with other
Yes.
people. That
Right.
frustration. You have to release that. I think as women, we're low-hanging fruit in the industry. And I feel like, we get battered up. There's an inclusion paradigm that's completely there. It's super absorbent. We know it's there. And everything is blatant and in your face. It's not like they're hiding it. You can watch
Yes.
these. You
They
can
like
watch these
blatantly
online.
telling you. They like blatantly telling you. I'm watching the woman that's delivering this information, and she's a white woman. I'm like, so you have a white privilege woman telling us what to do with social equity. I don't see no inclusion. I don't see no, no Asians, no African Americans, no, you know what I'm saying, indigenous people. No, come
Nobody.
on. If y'all want to have a committee, bring us all in. Like, I have to tell the city, look,
I would say
you want me to come and work for you on a consultant basis because you have to pay me. My knowledge ain't free. I'll come in there and help you run that shit.
Yeah. For sure.
I think what a new speaking on, like, Las Vegas here, New Woo. You guys are all Vegas.
Yeah,
Washington State.
Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, Rockies, Vegas.
Okay, so I mean, from Washington to California to Nevada, the laws are all like
different.
The quality different. The standards and practices are all different. So it's really like, even the genetics that are getting allowed in are different. So I mean, like, Washington, you guys have great genetics, crappy weather, and great prices. California got a lot of competition and bids and Mylar. Here is got and just so you know, I have about 2 decades of extreme professional cannabis knowledge. I package a crap ton of it. I've been growing since I was 16. I'm 35.
Okay.
Caregiver. I worked at the first cannabis dispensary in Los Angeles when I lived there, UMCA.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've been integrally become a patient because I believe in cannabis. Before it was legal, freedom fighter. You know what I mean? So I've seen the whole gauntlet from it being illegal in our parents' time period, like the coming into smoking weed at the same standard as like my dad did. Where it was illegal, cops harassed you, you know what I mean? Whatever it may be, to like now it's like, go down the street, talk to the rapper, it's legal, get it in a fancy packaging, come home, and it's safe, like all these different things. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, about what you're saying, I don't agree in the lotteries. At all.
I think it's, like you said, I think those are established to create a less, lower the threshold of social equity for applicants. I applied for 2 licenses in Chicago. Now, this is where it fucking blows my mind. You were giving out so many social equity licenses, but they had like a lottery situation going on as well, right? So we had LGBTQ, Latino, Black, you know what I mean, owners, right?
Okay.
And we got denied the license because we didn't have any applicants that were military.
What?
And yes, they sent us a letter to tell us that since we had no veteran status, that was the reason why they denied the applications.
What is
That's discrimination.
Yeah, that's the
Blatant. Like,
what,
it's not even like
what
if you look up Illinois' lottery for the first run of their lottery in Illinois, you will see that is what happened to a lot of applicants, that they got the same letter that was like military
This was
status.
this was to be a bud tender?
No, this is to own a dispensary and a cultivation.
So you know what doesn't make sense about that? Military can't work there.
Yeah.
What?
They can't work there. It's federally illegal.
That's a bunch
It depends
of
on the state.
No veteran status, so it was like you were missing one piece of like the social equity.
That depends on the state and to the local.
This is why I do this.
This is a subject that I'm telling you, we're trying to quietly just kind of let it go, but we can't.
Yeah.
We can't. It's so much more to talk about.
The money, the everything was there. Like, literally, we had backing. This was a huge Fortune 500 company that wanted to, you know what I mean, start business, and that was helping us, you know what I mean? And it would have been fantastic, but the simple fact was is that I was applying for this application, you know what I mean? And two other people that I knew that were Hispanic, you know what I mean?
We gotta come for these fools. Black, we gotta come for them.
It was real. Yeah. Anyways, we just lost a whole lot of money. Let's just put it that way.
We're all kind of complaining about the same thing and stuff right now too. And you know what's funny is I was saying just, you know, I worked at one of the first dispensaries in Los Angeles, UMCA, for a guy named Scott Fields. He's like in Wikipedia and like, you know, pretty famous for this stuff. As we were this is a normal day at work, you know, I'm doing the caregiver dispensary thing and everything like that. Like, to all consensus that this dispensary was legal, and it was legal. We only sold to patients, you know what I mean? Like, and it was all donation. It was like, you know, because the reason why I'm saying is the lottery is unfair, and like, I don't know, we can use the word the man or whatever. Like, you know, the man is keeping the normal people down in all reality all the time. I've seen it.
This is an insult.
Yeah, it is an insult. You know what I mean? It really is.
Oh, well, and because a lot of the reason why I personally feel that they do it is because it makes them look good. They can say that they did a lottery and that they set it all up and that's just who happened to get chose. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. All of it.
My problem with it with cannabis is someone that's grown it forever is like growing 20 years ago. Not everybody's stuff was good. You know what I mean? You got kids coming out of college, you know, for botany, and they're like, I know how to grow. And you put them to the fucking test, and there's bugs, there's boof, there's these, you know what I mean? Like, people will be like, oh, you're just a hater. And I'm like, no, in reality, I know what I've seen. So the policies and writers and I mean, we know. I don't really get. I don't know. I was coming on here to talk more about the science of the plant.
Appreciate it.
No, we do.
Oh, man, you've been excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you really have. That's why I was like, no, come back.
And I'm trying not to say the F word in front of the ladies, but I use it all the time, so I'm sorry.
I do too, and I accidentally just dropped it. I apologize. So mark this.
I mean, this is what this is about. This is a real conversation with real life people that's having real.
These are real emotions.
These are real emotions. So if it comes out a little bit, fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean,
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so nervous to do this. People kept telling me, do a podcast. I'm like, I'm gonna hire. But then I went to Reno and I spoke. And then when I spoke and then I was on panel, I was like, and then listening to everybody else, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am on the right path with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But now I need to swallow my fear, and I need to start going live and start pulling on other people like this to give them a, because there's a lot of people that was in the same situation like I am. They're like, do I really want to do a live? Like, I'm not sure. But then if somebody else hops on and starts this conversation, like look at all these people that we have on here now that are coming out to speak. Like, I want to give them this platform. We got to start being raw, and we need to start being loud, because there's too much fluff. There's not enough of us going, hey, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I wanna make sure you touch on banking really quickly before our
Yes,
time is up. I think that's important to touch on banking. So we reached out. I know a lot of people are looking for banking in the industry. We reached out to Dama Financial. I'm calling your asses out. And yes, Jillian Xavier. Yeah, I have an account there. So, and I'm like, we asked them to come on. I put Amanda on the email. The first thing is, okay, how many followers do you have? It doesn't matter. If there's 3 or 4 people that's wanting banking, I don't care if we have 7 people, 6 people, 8 people, 10 people that's listening. There's 3 people that you could get an account for. Let me tell you something. You could
that will now tell their friends.
People.
That'll tell their friends.
Right.
You can have this podcast and you have 1,000 people. You can have 500 likes and nobody will sign up. If you have a guaranteed 3 people looking for banking, why you're not here?
Yeah.
So now I got to rearrange my thoughts because I don't play. So I'm just about to sell that account and close that shit out because bitches boss. I'm a boss. Because we were talking about it's embarrassing.
It is
to even send the email, have them, connect, put her on the email, and it's just like whispers. Oh, how many followers do you have? Because we're not up to what you need, you don't check in. You lost.
Like we got completely ghosted.
People are lost with that.
Like we got ghosted, but it was so as soon as she emailed me, and I messaged Jillian, and I was like, I don't like. I was telling her I didn't really like that she asked how many followers I had. So I was honest with her, and I was like, I've got like 900 on Instagram. Like we have like a steady 5 or 6. I was like, but I was like, but my
4,000 organically. It's a huge thing to do that without using a robot or fucking
exactly like all of the people that follow me or that I follow, like I follow back, are legit. Like I get a couple of plugs which is fine. They can, if they need a follow count too, that's fine. Just don't try and sell to me because I know it's federally illegal to ship. Just don't have that conversation with me, please. Just don't have that conversation with me because I'm gonna start schooling you. I did it to one plug on TikTok. There was one plug on TikTok. He was like, but I got packaging. He's like, I got all this. I start sending him links, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I look good in orange. I was like, stop.
I got on my TikTok. I did a video because we do the packaging and stuff like that. And I do black market, gray market, white market. I package all kinds of stuff. And it was a black market packaging. But the guy that I know is one of the best growers in the world and stuff. And the guy on TikTok's just like, oh, I bet this is going to be filled in with crap and kill a bunch of people. And I was just like, dude, I do the packaging. I was like, I mean, he's like, well, you're just perpetuating killing people. And I was like, these are live resin carts from one of the best growers.
Yeah.
He sold in Las Vegas alone. Let's put it this way, he used to work at Green Coast Hydro, which I've consulted for, and I've consulted for Thrive, and I've consulted for some of these places indirectly. You know what I mean? Like, to hear some of the things, it's like, man, like, I consider myself gray market. I don't work in like the black market. Either. I don't work in the white market. I make packaging for both. And my company, specifically my history in cannabis led me, doing hash early, making extracts early, doing those things, genetics early on and stuff, had my friends go, well, he was the guy that knew how to do that stuff. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, yeah, and then like now for me.
Well, definitely contact you when it comes to growing, since you know a thing or two. I would definitely jump in and get with you. So make sure you follow us,
Cannabis, it's more is just like more of my expertise. I've done businesses, I've done grows, I've done, extracts, I've done all these things. All my friends are involved deeply in that and stuff. So just my background is in that. So you know, growing up in Southern California, I feel like that was one of the best places for that. If you grew up like you may have in Washington or like in Colorado, where there is like a very central knit underground cannabis community, these are the people I feel like what you were saying are the ones that you need to talk to. People like me, because there's a lot of people like me that
We're trying.
We don't want to talk. We view like MJ BizCon going on here, the legal industry, the black market that's taken over with the sessions. We're just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And we want to hear your voices. I think it's important for you to come on.
So share this. We're every Saturday.
yeah.
If you got other people that got more stuff to say,
Bring them on.
bring
We're on
them
every Saturday.
over.
I came on, I think, because of Jaybird and stuff, and I follow Jaybird. He's like I'm like the Darth Maul to him. I feel like I'm like we're like homies, like know about each other, you know, like, but like I'm doing completely different things in the scene than he is. Like I'm perpetuating my own like understanding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have like a certain sort of resentment towards legalization because of the stuff that we're talking about. It's like, how come I can't have a license? How come I can't do this? How come I can't do that? And they're like, no. And then they're like, you gave it to Tom, Dick, and Harry. And like, believe me, I've been around for 10 years. Tom makes booth, Dick blew up the place, and Harry fucking doesn't know anything about this.
No.
He just likes money. You know what I mean? And I'm just
exactly though.
And I'm like, how many times? Well, like usually then you give those Tom, Dick, and Harry like about 1 or 2, 3 tries. And so the problem is now that we've had is like, Tom, Dick, and Harry all got 3, 4 tries. We're on like the 4th try now, and like I haven't even got the ability to get a license, and I'm sitting here
not
watching
even the first
get to the ground, and it's like
frustrating.
do you even know what you're doing? That's finally happening in Vegas here with like Ocean Grown. Tsunami got put on with that stuff for a while ago. Grower Circle got thrown in with cookies and stuff like that. But these are like Ocean Grown Mike, Ocean Mike. Like they're two people here. Like these people have been like the older cats I listen to. You know what I mean? Like and heard about.
Yeah.
And
okay, we're getting close on time. I want to go back to banking because I just thought of something now that Rocky is in here because Rocky owns a dispensary. Okay, so last week we were talking about banking and how important it is that we need to get banking in the cannabis industry. Because did you guys know that when a dispensary has to go deposit their money, they take it themselves. They don't have armored trucks. They don't have like the banking systems like everybody else does. They are in control, or not in control, but they have to do all of that by themselves. So essentially, like think back in the day when your drug dealer was like, wants the cash, right? And you're like,
all right, making it rain.
Oh, okay. Now times that more to a dispensary. So now you've got a building and you've got shelves and you've got dabs, edibles, flower, joints, blunts, pre-roll. I mean, you've papers, like you got everything. Like somebody goes in and they need a poker, you got a poker. And somebody needs a bong, you got a bong. You need a pipe, you got a pipe. You need flour, you got a flour. You know what I mean? But all of that revenue is cash. Like now in Nevada, if I remember correctly, I had to use cash when I went to the dispensary. You have to use cash in Nevada?
No, they've got it all figured out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you can even buy with Bitcoin down there.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it must have been just the one. It must have been just the one that I went to then. That we had to use the ATM. There was no card machine.
Yeah, some dispensaries don't do it because those the machines to actually utilize credit. Not credit cards, debit cards.
Debit cards, right.
That are used to utilize debit cards are very expensive for especially newer dispensaries. So they'll utilize an ATM, which is going to be much cheaper for them.
Right.
Plus, it kind of relaxes the liability a lot because people have lost a lot of money too, from what I hear through that situation as well.
Yeah, Washington State is all cash. You cannot use, they all have ATMs.
You can use anything here in California, but here's the thing. If you go in and you buy a $10 joint, they charging you that extra $3.75 or whatever on top of the taxes. There's a fee. So now that $10 joint, by the time you get done, is $15.
Yeah. What it has
so it's just easier to use cash.
What it has to look like in Nevada is that it's a cash
ATM
transaction.
fee.
Yeah.
They're charging you the ATM fee. So you might as well
Oh.
just get cash because they're charging you so you, the customer, is paying for their charge on the other side.
That's correct. By far and large, too. Not
Thank
by
you,
a little
ma'am.
bit, by a lot.
Thank you, Rocky.
So Rocky, how hard has it been for you to find banking? Do you have banking? Have you been able to find it?
I don't own a dispensary. I've worked
Oh,
at
you
many dispensaries, so I wanted to clear it
okay.
up. I put in
Okay.
Yeah,
4
so
applications and have been denied application. So
yeah,
Okay,
so
but
anybody
you've worked
here
on
in
the back end though.
Vegas,
Okay, go
oh
ahead. Yeah,
yeah,
what is the Nevada?
absolutely. Oh yeah,
anybody here in
absolutely.
Nevada is going to have the special licensing, and then their banking is all done with special banking, like private banking and stuff,
Yeah.
with like basically investors taking that money and then laundering the money through.
I love you guys, but we are totally about to get cut off. So when we do, I'll just reopen it. Like Instagram is literally counting me down up top. 8,
Okay.
7. They're gonna kill. They're like,
I'll go
you guys have
down
been
with
on
you
too
guys.
long. Like, get out of here.